Welcome back to Barn and Soul, the podcast where we reconnect with the land, the animals, and the deeper parts of ourselves. I'm Kendall, and today's episode is one I think that you will appreciate because it gets to the heart of why places like Dalby Farm exist at all. We're diving into how modern farming threatens rare breeds, and maybe more importantly, what each of us can do to turn that tide. Today, 95% of the world's food comes from just 30 species of plants and animals, according to the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations. So let's think about that for a second. Thousands of years of agricultural diversity reduced to a handful of, quote, winners in the industrial age. This narrowing of life isn't an accident. It's the result of modern farming practices. And by that I mean things like monocultures, GMOs, and high input animal agriculture. They're all built for efficiency at really serious costs. Even worse, there's a hidden cost, which is genetic diversity. It's disappearing. And with it, we risk losing rare, resilient breeds, the ones that helped humanity survive harsh climates, disease outbreaks, and food shortages for millennia. When you think of modern farming today, you might imagine endless fields of corn, soy, or wheat stretching to the horizon. That's a monoculture, growing one single crop over huge areas of land. It's efficient for machines, it's profitable in the short term, but it's terrible for soil health, biodiversity, and food security. Some other downsides, quickly depletes soil nutrients, which leads to massive fertilizer use, according to the USDA. High vulnerability to pests, which skyrockets pesticide use. Ecological collapse, which leads to fewer pollinators and less wildlife. And then single point of failure, which means, crop diseases can devastate entire regions in one swoop. An example is the 1970 corn blight in the US. Genetically modified organisms, you know them as GMOs. So they're not inherently evil. In fact, genetic modification has been used in controlled breeding for centuries. But in modern industrial farming, GMOs often mean crops designed to tolerate heavy herbicide use, like glyphosate, or, produce their own pesticides internally. This arms race approach fuels even more chemical use rather than fostering naturally resilient, diverse ecosystems. Another example would be 80%, give or take, if not more, of U.S. corn, soybeans, and cotton are GMO. Glyphosate-resistant superweeds are now a major problem. I probably am butchering some of these words. That's going to be normal here. Livestock hasn't escaped this trend either. Industrial farming favors fast-growing, high-yield animals over hardy, adaptable ones. Today's broiler chickens, for example, reach market weight in just 6 to 7 weeks, twice as fast as they would have 50 years ago. But they are so specialized that they can't forage well, withstand temperature changes, or honestly even walk properly as adults, which is terrible. Some statistics: 60% of global livestock breeds are at risk of extinction, according to the FAO's State of the World's Animal Genetic Resources for Food and Agriculture. And in the US, a handful of commercial breeds dominates beef, dairy, and poultry industries. We'll get into that another time. So it's easy to think, well, efficiency is good, isn't it? Isn't more food for more people a win? And obviously, yes. Obviously. However, when you wipe out genetic diversity in your food supply, you gamble everything on a very narrow genetic pool. And nature does not play nice with monocultures. This is something we know. History gives us a very chilling example. In the 1840s, Ireland's potato crop was dominated by a single variety, the lumper. When a fungal blight hit, it wiped out the crop, leading to a famine that killed 1 million people and forced another 1 million to emigrate. Let's imagine that on a global scale, with livestock, staple grains, with food security itself. It's terrible to imagine, but that's the point. Let's not put ourselves in extremely vulnerable positions. We can learn from the past. Rare and heritage breeds often evolved to survive extreme local conditions. So I mean heat, drought, poor forage options, predators. In a world facing rapid climate change, these traits are priceless. So losing them isn't losing history necessarily. It's kind of losing our insurance policy. It's literally throwing away a recipe to survival that has been proven for us. Another example, the Gulf Coast native sheep can resist parasites better than modern commercial sheep breeds, according to the Livestock Conservancy. Heritage farmers work with nature, not against it. So instead of massive monocultures, you'll find diversified fields, rotational grazing, and mixed species flocks. Instead of one perfect breed, you'll find animals chosen for hardiness, thriftiness, and mothering instincts, traits that can't be factory farmed. Some hallmarks of heritage farming is, focus on soil health, regenerative agriculture, animal breeds that are suited to the local climate, low intervention, naturalistic care on all fronts, priority on animal welfare and land stewardship. And finally, seed saving and breed conservation practices. And that kind of brings me to the next and basically final part of this discussion, which is what you can do. The biggest thing, aside from sharing content like this and getting other friends to follow along and pay attention, is to literally support heritage farmers. So if you are somebody who does eat meat, try to find local farms that raise heritage breeds. Do so ethically. Not all farms are created equal, so you should do that research. But once you've vetted a quality heritage breed farmer, buy their products, meat, eggs, wool if they have it for, yarn, dairy, whatever. Every dollar you spend is a vote for a more diverse, resilient agricultural system. And chances are that's a local farm, a local business, possibly family operated, just like Dalby. And while we don't sell food, we do not process any of our animals, we do have a country store that has a lot of great products that, we ship nationwide. You can support us from wherever you are, and that will go towards supporting our heritage breeds and our programming that we open our gates to the community. You can seek out breed-specific products, so you can look for labels like heritage pork, grass-fed beef, or products promoted by groups like the Livestock Conservancy. There are people out there that have done some of this homework for you. It's a matter of just finding the right lane that fits your lifestyle and your priorities. Maybe you're not in a position to get a farm and do this work, but maybe you have some time to get involved with some conservation groups like the Livestock Conservancy or Slow Food's Arc of Taste. Perhaps, I have ways on dolbyfarm.com that you can, monetarily sponsor our animals, so you don't have to physically have these breeds to make a difference or get involved. You can help people like us here at Dolby keep going. Just educating yourself, just knowing about these issues, honestly, is, in my opinion, extremely powerful. So the act of sharing, the word of mouth, talk about it with friends, help people understand that the supermarket's shiny abundance comes with real hidden costs that we can hope and pray will never actually come to be. But people like me, people like my family, we would rather be proactive than reactive, especially when it comes to long-term survival. And honestly, if you really let yourself think about what previous generations have gone through to gather this knowledge and intelligence and information about to develop these breeds to just get us this far, if you are like me and you let yourself sort of empathize with the sacrifices and just the overall, just what it takes, it feels like like I'd be slapping them in the face to just let this living history just disappear. Especially when we have this farm that's been in our family since 1861. It just feels like what else could we do if not promote these rare and endangered farm breeds? So thank you for being here. Every rare breed saved is a future possibility preserved. It's a chance for adaptability, sustainability, and food security to survive in an unpredictable world. It's not just about preserving the past, it is about fighting for the future. Until next time, take care. If you enjoyed this episode, please share, leave a comment, maybe a question I can answer in a future episode. Subscribe to the channel, you know the whole deal. And of course, you can visit dolbyfarm.com. We do ship nationwide. Our country store has something for everybody. So I hope, and please know that all purchases, I believe it's at least 50% of each and every purchase goes directly back to the care and upkeep of this family farm. So we thank you very much. I hope this finds you well, and we'll see you next time. Oh, and don't forget to appreciate the rare and wonderful things in life.